Good day, everyone! Especially to our subject teacher, Dr. Ryan Taiko, to our research advisor, Dr. Chulet Lopez, and to our panelists. My name is Eunice Camille Santillan Pacolares. Together with me are...
I am Elena Aldinadi.
I am Lenny Joyce M. Summary.
I am Angelica Q. Tanya.
And I am Angelica Yako.
And we are the researchers. For today's video, we are going to present and discuss our research paper entitled
The Effects of COVID-19 Pandemic on the Resort Industry in Dauin, Negros Oriental.
In today's situation, the tourism industry is one of the many affected due to the pandemic, which has had a huge impact on their business because there were some changes that every company has to follow and needs adjustment for the safety of everyone. The tourism industry has been hit hard, which has a knock-on effect. Some resort industries are having a hard time selecting employees to stay and operating times that they have to work due to a limited workforce. In this research, the researcher wants to determine the effects of COVID-19 on the resorts in Dauin, Negros Oriental. COVID-19 produces an economic slump and has a substantial impact on worldwide economic growth as a result of quarantines, travel restrictions, and social isolation. The pandemic study reveals that 50% of the tourism businesses are hibernating and 35% are in operation but with reduced staffing. At present time, almost 80% of non-tourist related businesses are functioning with fewer employees according to the United Nations World Tourism Organization in 2021. Tourism contributes the most to the economy in both emerging, according to Ozturk in 2021, and developed countries, and is one of the fastest growing economic sectors on the planet in 2018 with 1.4 billion foreign tourists visited. The difference between the authors and researchers' points of view is that there are few studies on the influence of COVID-19 on the global tourism business in the available literature, while on the influence of COVID-19 on growth, there was minimal research. As a result, the goal of this study is to see how COVID-19 affects the resort industry in Dauin, Negros Oriental. It would shed light on how COVID-19 has impacted the tourism or hospitality business, as well as the economy and how people have been affected, such as job losses. It also shed light on the establishment's recovery plans and initiatives during the short-term recovery period.
This is a descriptive study where the researchers made a survey questionnaire that was used in the study. Specifically for documentary analysis, a copy of the list registered resorts. Survey questionnaires are conducted with multiple questions to the resort's owner, manager, or supervisor. The main instrument to gather data is a survey questionnaire. Research respondents. The researchers use convenient sampling techniques because it is relatively easy to get sample and it is inexpensive compared to other methods. Convenient sampling involves using respondents who are convenient to the researchers, where the researchers give the questionnaire randomly. Questionnaires was distributed using convenience method in a study of the effects COVID-19 pandemic on the research industry in Dauin, Negros Oriental. The respondents of study was limited to the owner, manager, or supervisor in the resorts in Dauin. The research was focused on the effects of COVID-19 in resorts in Dauin. Research environment. The setting of this study was the resort located in the municipality of Dauin. The researchers chose Dauin, Negros Oriental in conducting the research study because there are adequate number of resorts here that are being affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, like jobless employees, less number of customers, and loss of profit. Dauin is a small coastal town in the province of Negros Oriental, recently known for macro photography and mock diving.
Collecting the necessary data, the researchers made a questionnaire for the owner, manager, or supervisor of the resorts in Dauin, Negros Oriental. It has two parts. Part 1 asks for the background of the respondents or the demographic profile. It determined the name of the respondents, age, gender, marital status, nationality, job position, and and number of years working in the organization. The institutional profile determined the classification of the resort, type of ownership, size of organization, and number of years the business operated. Part 2 asks what are the effects of COVID-19 pandemic in the resorts in Dauin, Negros Oriental. It determined the impact on operation, the impact on profit, and the cost-cutting measures, and the impact of workforce on the resorts. Data gathering procedure. The researchers made a letter of request to conduct the study. The researchers made questionnaires where the respondents only put a check mark for their answers. It was conducted in Dauin, Negros Oriental through the survey with the use of convenient sampling, where the researchers gave the questionnaires randomly. The researchers explained all the terms to the respondents so that they can answer all the questionnaires with full of understanding and knowledge. And after the respondents answered all the questionnaires, the researchers collected and tallied all the data for interpretation. Statistical treatment of data. The respondents' answers was statistically evaluated to meet the study's data criteria. Frequency count, percentage distribution, and weighted means are there among the descriptive statistics evaluated. The main properties of the data in the study was described by using descriptive statistics by providing short summaries of the sample and data measurements. Frequency count, percentage distribution, and weighted mean will be utilized to help define and comprehend the aspects of specific data collection.
Table 1 presents the background of the respondents in this study. Out of 15 respondents, 53.33% are 18 to 29 years old, while 33.33% are 30 to 45 years old, and the other 13.33% are 56 to 64 years old. It shows that mostly of the respondents are still young. In gender, out of 15 respondents, 86.67% are female. It shows that the respondents are mostly female. Another is marital status. Out of 15 respondents, 66.67%, and this presents that the respondents are mostly single. Next is nationality. Mostly of the respondents are Filipino. Then in job position, out of 15 respondents, 40% are supervisor, while 33% are owner, and 26.67% are manager. It shows that the respondents are mostly supervisor. Lastly, the number of years they are working in the organization. Out of 15 respondents, 46.67% work in the organization for 1 to 3 years, while 26.67% working in the organization for 4 to 6 years, and below 1 year and 10 years above are both 13.33%. Table 2 shows the institutional profile of the respondents. Out of 15 respondents, 66.67% are standard class. This only presents that most of the resort is standard class in terms of classification of resort. In type of ownership, 60% of the resorts are sole proprietorship, while 6.67% are with partner. It shows that mostly of the resort are owned by one person. Next, the size of organization shows that there are 66.67% of the resorts have 1 to 9 employees. This only shows that on the resorts we have surveyed, mostly they have 1 to 9 employees. Lastly, the number of years the business operated. The table shows that 60% are operating 5 years and above. This shows that most of the resort operated are 5 years and above. Table 3 shows the effects of COVID-19 on the resort industry in Dauin, Negros Oriental. In terms of impact on operations, 60% of the resort are operating fully on-site. There are varied responses on how long did it take for the resort establishments in Dauin to fully restore operations. Some are fully restored in less than 30 days, between 31 and 60 days, and over 90 days with the same average of 26.67% responses. In partially operating or not fully operating, how much longer it takes for resort establishment to fully restore operations. 40% of the resort in Dauin lasts for between 31 and 90 days to operate again. Lastly, 80% of the resort said that the cash flow to maintain staff and business operation is inadequate, while 60% said that customers or clients have been affected and demand is lower than normal are the main challenges that establishment currently facing resulting from COVID-19. Table 3 shows the impact on profit and cost-cutting measures. The data shows that 46.67% of the resort stated that it decreased over 50%, while 40% are not determined. It is difficult to estimate the impact they expect from establishments' revenue for 2020 as a result of COVID-19. Another, the cost-cutting measures they have conducted or plan to conduct. 40% of the resorts stated that they reduce or completely freeze recruitment of new staff, while 26.67% stated that they reduce or delay increase of wages or annual bonuses. Implement compulsory leave or holidays without pay, reduce operational costs, example electricity, water, internet, mail, logistics, and transports, reduce costs related to upgrading, acquiring, and maintaining physical assets. Examples are buildings, machines, equipments, vehicles, and the reduced borrowing costs, example of loans and debts. Lastly, the most important strategies to increase revenue during and following COVID-19. The data shows that 60% of the resort decreases the price on their selected products or services, while 46.67% offers new products or services. Table 3.2 shows the impact on workforce on the resort industry in Dauin, Negros Oriental. 100% of the resort stated that most of their employees are at the workplace, and this best describes the current work arrangements of the establishments. Lastly, on following the COVID-19 crisis, how they envision changes to their flexible or remote working practices over the long term. The majority of the respondents, which is 66.67% of the resort, stated that no changes. They prefer their employees to work on site.
The purpose of this study is to determine the effects of COVID-19 pandemic among the resorts of Dauin, Negros Oriental. According to the data gathered from the survey, it shows that between 31 and 90 days, the establishments are partially operating or not fully operating. It implies that the cash flow on maintaining staff and business operations is inadequate, and the customer or clients have been affected, and also the demand is lower than normal are the main challenges the establishments currently facing as resulting from COVID-19. The results on the impact on profit and cost-cutting measures shows that it decreased over 50% is the impact expected from establishments' revenue for 2020 as a result of COVID-19. The result implies that the reduced or completely freeze recruitment of new staff is the cost-cutting measures they had conducted or planned, while offering new product or service and ensure business continuity planning are the most important strategies to increase revenue during the following COVID-19. On the impact on workforce, it observed that most or all employees are at the workplace following the best described to current work arrangements, and no changes that the resorts prefer their employees to work on site following the COVID-19 crisis as the envisioned changes in flexible or remote working practice over long term. Based on the result of the study, the researchers recommended to the different resorts in Dauin that they may focus on building trust in tourists again by reassuring them on report on safety rules, flexibility in reservations, and more. They may improve marketing strategy through using social media advertisement, promote social media advertising such as Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, because it is a low-cost medium with a lot of potential. Prioritize audio-visual content such as images and videos. The resorts may also identify new products and services they could offer that will attract customers' preference in this new normal or COVID-19 era. One of this, improve digital experience and technological infrastructure. Since international tourism is still behind the corner because of some travel restrictions, resorts may target domestic tourism, collaborate with local bodies, agencies, event organizers to provide one-of-a-kind deals and packages for the local public or closest demand. Lastly, the researchers recommend to use this study as a strategic plan for recovery of the resort industry in the municipality of Dauin, Negros Oriental.
That would be all for our research presentation. This has been your researchers.
Thank you and God bless.
Kick.